So let me ask you. So actually, someone else on the channel had asked what it was like for like rock and rollers to go to Stax and record there. Do you know of anybody that did recorded
No,
young
no,
rock and
I don't.
rollers?
I only knew the MGs to record there.
Really?
Mm.
No rock and rollers or anything like that was ever.
No. It was Booker T and MGs. Elbow Reed Day. That was they were full time, so there was nobody recording there.
And
Now, if somebody wanted to record some rock and roll, they'd go over to Phillips recorders.
what was the difference?
They could get in.
Oh, you couldn't get into the Stax Where.
No, that was a private deal.
Really?
It wasn't open to anybody. No, that was strictly for Stax recording. For all the Stax artists, and that's who, and that would be Booker T and the MGs. With Isaac Hayes and David Porter, Ronnie Capone engineering. Out front would be Al Bell's office and Jim Stewart's office. And then a writing room that would have Betty Crutcher and Homer Banks in it, and David Porter and Isaac Hayes. But that was a machine. That's what that was. They had it all going on right there.
So then there were no outside entities coming in there.
Hell no.
And somebody said that they knew that some rock band had. It must have been many years later that they were able.
Maybe, but not when in the heyday of it. Because that was home for all of great Rufus Thomas and Carla Thomas, staple singers. William Bell. Al Bell, was running the show. Albert King, golly.
Were there any other studios in the area there that were open at the time and running?
What?
Other studios? Were there not any other studios, or that was the only one?
Yeah, that's what I said. They'd go to Phillips Recorders, Sun Recorders, and
of course, Sun. Yeah.
Yeah, there were other in American studios. Bill Black had a studio right around the corner. The name of it, I can see it. He's the first person to take me into a studio. Bill Black was Elvis's bass player.
Right.
I was 12 years old and recorded the Lord's Prayer, and I did Ted Mack Amateur Hour, and I won a 6-pack of chicken legs and a Brownie Instamatic camera. But that was my first recording. I was 12 years old. We come from Diaz or someplace, Arkansas for me to.
Do you remember the story behind that? And I know it was just you and your mom, wasn't it?
Yeah, just me and my mom.
Was she encouraging? Was she encouraging you to do this at the time?
Well, I've been singing since I could walk, since I could even remember. But
did she take you there?
Yeah. My mother was always real supportive of what I did, and believed in what I was doing. Even when I was little, I've been singing my whole life. And she heard about the amateur hour, thought it would further me along. And so she brought me to town, and we stayed at Big Mama's house. And I went, I don't know how in the world she knew to contact Bill Black. I'll tell you what it was, because Dewey Phillips, Red Hot and Blues show, he lived behind Big Mama King's house and one door down with his mama. And he loved us, and he'd been listening to me sing once I was little. So he would be the one to turn Mama on to Bill Black's studio. Mm-hmm. And Bill Black, anyway, he heard me sing and he was happy to record it. And it got me in on the Ted Mack thing and won a 6-pack of chicken legs. Purnell Pride. Funny, I remember that. Chicken legs and a Brownie Instamatic camera. And first thing we did was fried the chicken legs up when I got back to the Big Mama's house.
I guess so. You guys must have been hungry.
Yeah, well, you know what? All of a sudden, because I did that, then there were these people wanting to teach me how to sing, It's funny. I was already singing. She did take me to one of this person to see if maybe it would make what I was doing already better.
Right.
And I sang for him, and he said, "I can't help him. He's already got it."
That's awesome.
So we went in for a check of that. But at least But she's always been the one. She cut me loose when she said, "All I want you to do is finish high school." And now, Lord, I don't know why, but just finish high school. And then she said, "I'll take you down to Memphis and put you out myself." And I sure did. The day after graduation, she came in.
Hold on. Well, I don't know what just happened to this camera. I was trying to
It's
get
new.
it was going in and out of focus, and I was trying to focus it, and it flipped on me. Anyway.
No, that
sorry.
was me.
No, it was perfect. I was going to ask you that. What attracted you more to Stax than any of the other studios?
I knew Duck Dunn and Don Nix, Steve Cropper, and that was the music that I was drawn to. I wasn't drawn to jazz, even though I could understand it, and we used to hang out. After we'd get through playing, like 1 in the morning, we'd pack up and then go to a place like, Pat's Pizza. It was under the viaduct on Summer Avenue in Memphis, Tennessee. And we'd go listen to him, Sid Manker's jazz player, listen to him playing some real cool stuff, eat pizza and drink some beers. Yeah, it was always, but that was the only influence other than what I had done before, was Bob Dylan when he was coming out and all that movement, I appreciated some of that stuff, but I was living my own life and writing then, I didn't suddenly start doing it like when I got older. I was writing songs when I was, Lord, I was thinking about it, and I could feel it. I had this ability, when I was real young.
Do you remember the first song you ever wrote?
Yeah. Walk Softly. And
were you writing before that? Because you were like 14 when you wrote Walk Softly?
Yeah.
But you were singing when you were teeny tiny baby.
Yeah, but I could just make up stuff, I could. Well, I did one time. We had a thing of prose and poetry that we had to pass this long. Oh my goodness, this exam to graduate, from high school, and I couldn't figure out how to do this thing. It was all iambic pentameter and everything, but everybody else was having to memorize this stuff. I couldn't do it. My mind don't work like that. My brain doesn't work. And so what I decided to do, I just went in and brought my guitar to school and I sang it.
That's awesome.
It just came out, and it all worked. Yeah. But I would listen, like when the Beatles first came out and all those great songs, Paperback Writer and stuff. That was my favorite Beatles song. I understand. I could write those songs, even then. I mean, I had a way with words and an understanding that I didn't even know about, I knew I could do these things. I could play anything I picked up. I was first chair drummer in high school, and I wanted to be a drummer. That's what
you were writing cheers for the school.
Yeah, I wrote all the cheers for.
Can you do any of those? Do you remember any of those? Can you do something like
get back into the woods because they haven't got the goods. They haven't got the rhythm, and they haven't got the blues, and they haven't got the stump-a-dip-a-dap. We used to go back, get back into the woods.
I mean, some of the rhythm stuff. Do you remember that?
Oh, I remember. I did.
Can you do any of the rhythm stuff?
I did. See, there was we would play not on. It would be all rims, and it's a great football. They would be out there ready to start the game. And here we come, Give me that football! Oh hell, they're getting them all worked
Let
up.
me just ask you this: were the schools at the time doing that kind of rhythmic drum things?
Yeah, they always did marching kind of thing.
Yeah, but I mean, you brought a
mine,
whole.
You know, that was what I heard.
Because what you're doing there seems like you invented this
I did.
whole style that the whole world, pretty much the whole United States, does today.
I don't know. I didn't think
Yeah.
much about that.
Yeah.
But boy, we was cooking, you know.
Yeah, no kidding.
You know, we was
That's
cooking.
awesome.
It's for real.
And you also did home ec, right?
Home ec and typing.
Because that's where all.
I always liked to be where all the girls were, you know. All these guys in football, you know, they took me down one. Bam, the game's over, you know. I went back to typing and home ec and writing all the cheers and stuff and hanging out with the girls, you know. I did. I loved it, you know.
Well, what I was asking you about being attracted to Stax was what I meant was the studios themselves. There was American, there was the other's Sun and places like that, but you were more attracted to Stax recording the studio.
Yeah, that's because of the music that was coming out of there.
And they let you in.
Yeah, yeah.
And you were there with all those great.
I was there every day. Those doors were open, and I wasn't busy doing something else.
So they all knew you.
Yeah,
Stable singers.
Everybody.
Albert and.
Everybody. Yeah. Carla Thomas. You know. Yeah, Mavis. I had a thing for Mavis and Carla Thomas back then.
know.
Yeah, I did.
Awesome.
Boy, they were cute as buttons. I swear
awesome.
they were.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And just fantastic.
Yeah.
Fantastic singers.
I can say it after all these years now, you know.
What's so strange, well, for me anyway, is that's the music that I always loved, and I'm 10 years younger than you.
Yeah.
11 years younger than you. But that's what I have always had done.
And that's what I brought to the Laney and Bonnie and Friends, you know. So
Yeah,
I brought
that soul thing.
That soul thing, you know, because everybody else's interpretation of what that was about, you know. They weren't around, you know. I was about the only one. You know, there was a time, I don't know if I've said this before, probably have, that it dawned on me that when I was in England, when I first went there, I was standing in the TV room at Hurtwood Edge, and I thought to myself, wow, here I am surrounded by this, and I know where their music came from, you know, skittle music and stuff like that. Skiffle, yeah.
Skittle.
And standing on the counter there. I mean, you know.
Well, they learned all that from the records.
Stuff from outside. And then I realized, like, the only real rock and roll and rhythm and blues and gospel that there is in this whole country is standing there in the TV room, and that would have been me. You know, and I went, whoa, you know, here I am. And so I was bringing my well of knowledge to spill out into Great Britain, and I know.
Don't you know how much they would have loved that?
Oh, well, I'll tell you right now, what I took to All Things Must Pass sessions and the Layla album, you know, pretty amazing. After all these years, you know, I listen real objectively and know the role that I played and how that came to be, you know.
What was one of your favorite soul records?
Feel It, Don't Fight It. Arthur Conley, but that wasn't Stax. That's one of my favorites. And
well, from the Stax people.
Oh Lord, I don't know, honey. They're all my
staple
favorites,
singers.
You know. Don't miss your water till your well runs dry, William Bell. You know, you just fast, whatever. Well, Otis said, just dang. I mean, he's just making up stuff. He's making up words and stuff, and some phrases, just to get with it.
You didn't really know Otis Redding at all?
No, I met him when I was getting on the bus to go to do the Live Europe thing. I made my way into town just so I could, meet him. And I did. That was the only time I ever met him. Of course, I knew all the Barkays and stuff. The ones that are still around, they're still in Memphis. Yeah.
Well, thanks a lot. That was great. And your drumming is awesome.
It's fun, huh?
I always love that. Yeah, it's pretty awesome.
Yeah.
Bye.
Bye.